What's going on, everybody? Matthew Monas here, and today I'm talking about the Huawei Mate 20 Pro. I've been using this as one of my daily drivers for the past 3 weeks, and I gotta say, I think Huawei's made something special. First and foremost, the design is absolutely awesome. They managed to create a 6.4-inch device that's smaller than the Galaxy Note 9. It's not as tall, it's not as wide, and because it's a little bit more curvy, it feels more comfortable to hold in your hands. But the big thing, the new thing, is the fingerprint sensor. It's gone. The physical button is gone, and what you get right now is an in-display fingerprint sensor. So I got some feelings about this. I personally think it's a cool idea. It helps alleviate some bezel for more display, but it's not the best option right now. A physical button gets you in faster all the time. All you have to do is push the physical button in the back and you're in. With an in-display fingerprint sensor, you have to wake up the display. So automatically that's one extra step. Then you have to press the button, and the speed it takes you to get into your device is significantly slower than a physical button. Plus, the one on here is in the middle display. I wish it would have been down more like on the OnePlus 6T, and it's also not nearly as fast or accurate as the one on the OnePlus 6T. The next thing is the speaker setup. 2 speakers, but you're probably saying, Matt, I don't see no speaker grills on the bottom. What's happening over here? Well, the truth of the matter is that Huawei was basically using the bottom of the device as a chamber to push the sound out of the USB Type-C port. It works. It doesn't get as loud as the iPhone XS, and it doesn't sound as nice as the iPhone XS, but it still sounds very nice. The next big deal was the whole fact that this is the first phone to have reverse wireless charging, and also one of the first more flagship devices from Huawei that has wireless charging, period. So the fact that it has wireless charging is great. The fact that it can do reverse wireless charging, I don't think that's a big deal. I think it's more of a gimmick. Do you really want to spend the time to charge someone else's device? You got a friend, he doesn't charge regularly, he's a jerk. Do you really want to give up using your phone to spend an hour or 2 hours to charge his device? This is wireless charging, which means is it's significantly slower than regular cable charging. Now, the good thing about reverse charging is for other devices. If Huawei can create some headphones that can be wirelessly charged or other smaller devices, then that's when I think the reverse charging is worth it, because you can quickly top it on. 5 minutes later, your headphones now have an hour of use. Now, I quickly just want to touch on the display. It's 6.4 inches like I mentioned before, but this is the first time I've used a Huawei phone besides their Porsche devices that have a great display. The P20 Pro was AMOLED, but it wasn't that great. This is QHD+. The pixels are crystal sharp. The display is being sourced from 3 different vendors. I think one of them is LG, and quite frankly, next to the Galaxy Note 9, the only differences that I notice is that the Note 9 tends to get a little bit brighter, and it's obviously more saturated. That's because Samsung likes to boost up those colors. Besides that, you get a notch. And I know a lot of people don't like this, but this year, Huawei has put a 3D depth sensor in there so it properly reads your face to log you into your device. The cool thing though, is that you can disable the notch, whereas on the Pixel 3, if you disable it, you're basically losing a lot of screen real estate. On this, you're still using the top of the device. You still have your notifications. It just turns that entire bar black to make the phone look like it's not using a notch. And when you combine that with an AMOLED panel, you get those true to life blacks. It's really not noticeable at all. Speaking of what's noticeable is performance. This is using the newest Kirin 980, and after Apple's A12 chips, the Kirin chips are hands down my favorite. Every Huawei device I've used in the last 3 years has been absolutely ridiculously fast. There's something about these Kirin chips that are very special. And I also think the fact that Huawei's creating them and using them in their own devices and combining with Android gives them a lot more flexibility to fine-tune them to work with the hardware and software together. Same holds true with Samsung when they use their Exynos processors. Usually they're a little bit more efficient and they're a little bit more faster because their chips are made in-house. It's fast. I've never had any lagging issues. Games run beautifully on this device. It's using Huawei's latest neural engine. Overall, I prefer the Kirin chips over the Qualcomm counterparts. Software, still a low point for Huawei. I mean, you know, it's getting better every single year, but it's still not the most gorgeous theme out there. It's a little bit too boxy, it could look a little bit cleaner, and sometimes I'm not getting certain notifications, specifically with my Ring doorbell, but it is significantly better than previous generations. But here's the big thing about this device. It's definitely the camera. You're getting 3 lenses on the back, a 40 megapixel sensor, so you have a lot of information to work with, a 20 megapixel lens, so you can have those wide landscape shots, very similar to the LG G7, and they have an 8 megapixel telephoto lens, allowing you to zoom up to 3 times. This is insane, because you get 3 focal lengths to work with, and if you love smartphone photography, you're gonna love working with these lenses. The software on here allows a lot of flexibility as long as you know what you're doing, and the results are absolutely amazing. But the short and dirty is this: it takes really great photos and really good videos. This is the first year that Huawei has fixed 4K video recording. You actually get good 4K stabilization when using this device. But the big takeaway about this device, the thing that really attracts me to this phone, is definitely the battery life. You have a 4200 milliamp battery in here. That's in a phone smaller than the Galaxy Note 9, but yet it's not exploding, and yet you're getting amazing results. I've finished days with light use with 70% battery life left. That is absolutely bonkers. When I go heavy on this guy, I'm finishing days with 50 to 55% battery life left. So if you're someone who has battery anxiety like I do, and you don't want to have to worry about charging your device throughout the day, this is the phone that's gonna do it for you. So here's the bottom line. The Huawei Mate 20 Pro is an impressive smartphone. I love the design, it feels great in the hand. In fact, if you're looking for a big phone that feels comfortable to hold, but yet you don't need an S Pen like on the Galaxy Note 9, I take a look at this instead. The cameras are fantastic, the battery life is absolutely nuts, the display is good, and most importantly, that battery life will get you through the day and more without having to worry about charging. Anyways, that wraps up this review of the Huawei Mate 20 Pro. If this is their technical device, just imagine what the P30 Pro is gonna look like in the next 5 months. Hit me up in the comments if you have any questions, hop on Discord if you wanna talk dirty. Follow me on Instagram for some behind the scenes, like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video.